Now I'm going to demonstrate how Fuser handles clash analysis and manage those clashes utilizing multiple instances of Revit and LiveLink. Here's our project. It contains multiple links, and these links are shown in Fuser. For this demonstration, I'm going to run a clash test on my structural file and duct system. To do that, I go to Tool Controls, Clash Manager, and I'll start a new test. I'm going to name this test Steel versus Ducts. Now I'll set my parameters. For my structural file, I'm going to choose the structural column and structural framing. And then from my architectural file, I'm going to choose my ducts. Set my tolerance at 0.04 and run my test. And in less than a second, I found 13 clashes. When I click on these clashes, it brings me to a view where I can see that they're highlighted in green and red. These green and red colors are also associated with Object 1 and Object 2. When I select the different clashes, I get a different view of each clash. You can clearly see that there's a clash going on. I'm going to go ahead and resolve this clash as if I was in charge of the MEP. And I'm going to do that by adjusting the duct. Now I know that the duct is Object 1, which is in red, and I'm going to edit that. And how I do that is I hit this edit button right here in the user interface. Then it asks me if I want to launch a new instance of Revit. I'm going to say yes. Now what Fuser does is it tells Windows to open a new window of Revit, and it's going to find the file that's associated with that particular item, in this case a duct, and it's going to locate it in the Revit file in the appropriate plan view. And right here we have a progress bar showing that it's making that connection. We have two windows of Revit currently open. Okay. Now it's at 100%, it's going to grab that item. Now that we have the item, I'm going to make my adjustment. I'm just going to change the offset to 11 feet. And it makes the adjustment. And as you can see in the clash window, we have that clash as resolved. And up at the top where we named our clash test, you'll see that we have 7 that we have not looked at, 5 that we have looked at, and 1 of them which has been resolved. And we just take a visual check here, and we definitely have clearance. Okay. I'm going to do one more. Here we have another clash. Now this is a structural file and an architectural file. We wouldn't normally modify a structural file, but for demonstration purposes I'm going to get rid of this structural framing right here, and I'm going to do that by clicking Edit in the BIM window. And it asks me the same question if I want to open another window, and I say yes. Now this file will take a little bit less time to load in. It's a lighter file. And now we have 3 windows of Revit running at the same time that are all connected to Fuser. Okay, and for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to remove this structural framing, and you can see that it has been resolved. So we resolved 2 clashes in a matter of seconds. And to end that test, I just click this End Test button, and it brings us back to our render mode. So now that we have resolved those clashes, I'm going to show how powerful utilizing multiple instances of Revit can be with Fuser on a project-wide scale. So here we see we have a couple of planters that have two different materials on it. And I want all the planters to have this stone material. So I'm going to select on this guy right here and just change that from concrete to stone. As Fuser has made a connection with all the instances of Revit for the different files associated with the project. Take this garage for instance. This parking garage is in a linked file, and Fuser knows this, so if I want to make a modification to anything within this garage, within that linked file, Fuser will ask me to open another instance of Revit. So maybe I don't need all these posts. I'll get rid of this one. So now we have 4 instances of Revit going at the same time, all making a connection to Fuser. And once that's done resyncing, it'll grab that pillar for me. And I'm going to remove it, and now it's gone. And I'm going to fly over here to this building to show you that the connection with this Science Center building is still active. I'm going to change this floor right here to a different type of wood. And there's my Science Center building. And we'll make this floor the wood planks instead of the wood flooring. And now that's changed to the wood planks. It's a very quick and powerful way to make modifications to all of your files, not just one main file, but all the separate link files that are associated with your projects.